start recording. Although, luckily,
Ow.
I didn't check to update my drivers, and I can record, so that's good. In fact, I have started recording. So hello everyone, and welcome to Sunkissed, the Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition TTRPG campaign that we are doing. I think there's more, but my brain stuttered, and then I lost the thread
Vampire the
of
Masquerade TTRPG 5th edition.
campaign.
Yeah, no, that's it, right?
Yeah.
On the Wandering Inn.
On the
Wandering Inn, which is this channel now. Although on YouTube it's still Sheepdog, because I am going to be doing other things on that channel one day, maybe.
Sheepdogs Wandering Inn. No, that's too much for anything to gloss over. It's fine, don't worry about it.
We did have our inaugural episode of the Bar Brawl with Josh. It was a lot of fun. We talked about Josh a little bit, because Josh kept changing the subject to other people and other things. I don't know how he does it, but he manages it. We did... Oh, did you guys see the tier listing that we did for the vampire clans?
Yes,
So-
I saw some of it.
Here's the problem, Sheepy. When you send us the picture and it's...
I know, it's not super easy.
Squint at it.
Also, I don't know
He threw
all
some
the
fair
symbols.
shades. Okay, the one he
Did
listed...
he really rank Toreador as second?
No, that's Nosferatu as second.
Toreador is the rogue.
Oh, no, man,
Toreador
like
is
second tier, like B tier.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Which is surprising. Like, to be honest, I was expecting Toreador to be a lot further down for him.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait, so what's the first one?
Thin Bloods.
Mm.
We haven't had much Thin Bloods in this campaign, so...
Josh. That's so Josh. Of course you'd pick Thin Bloods.
But weirdly, Tremere, which he's always like said Tremere was his favorite clan. Tremere only just made his top 5 at number 5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to have some words with Josh anyway.
What? Because Gangrel is lost at the worst.
At the worst. We are the worst, but that's not the point.
The worst.
The worst. At least give us a worst friend. For the loner clan.
I mean, it's gotta be the worst. Like, the worst is like the pinnacle of the bad. So it's gotta be who's at the top of the little... I don't think Gangrel are that bad. Why does he hate Gangrel? You'll have to find out by watching the episode.
Now I know why Josh hasn't spoken to me. No kidding, he has.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, the interesting thing about it is the way you do the tier listing. You like, so for example, you put the Gangrel at the bottom in the worst, and then you play them off against each other one by one to see which you prefer.
So nobody was worse than Gangrel. Wow.
Essentially, yeah, but I think it's because Gangrel can be fairly restrictive one note if you're not careful, so he's probably just used to seeing the same type of Gangrel, which is I punch stuff and I don't think much.
That's rude. Wow.
Oh boy.
We're gonna move on before I get Mardy about it. I think. I'm gonna message Josh right now.
You're gonna shout at him.
Just gonna call me bitch.
I think you're the best Gangrel I've ever played with.
I appreciate that.
Have you played with a lot of Gangrels?
Don't need to know.
This is his first VTM show.
Yeah,
Right.
but the statement still stands.
Yeah, no, it's valid. Oh, also, she's the worst.
Also the worst, which is great.
Yeah. I prefer you to Eli.
Eli's not a Gangrel.
He's not a Gangrel.
Oh, god damn it! Yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, fair point. Fair play.
Eli and
That's my character that found that out as well. Wow.
Eli and Celine are caitiff. Caber was a Gangrel. And also the girl who got dragged into the earth after getting drained of life by Sheldon was also a Gangrel.
Gross.
Okay.
Just a couple of examples of Gangrels, neither of them great.
Caster.
Caster is a gangrel.
Yeah, but he's a hot gangrel.
He's also a bit of a thinker, so. Gangrel do have an interesting side to them, which is kind of like philosopher, like kind of nomadic philosopher vibe going on, which is a bit more caster.
Josh has taken my very mean message well, so that's good.
He responds well to controversy.
Yeah.
Possibly why he enjoyed so much torturing. Like you should have seen chat. You should have seen chat during the tier listing. Like they were losing their minds.
He's a bit of a masochist, isn't he?
And a bit of a sadist as well.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's honestly probably why he plays VTM so much.
And why he GMs it also.
And yes. Yeah. Yeah, Josh, we figured you out, bud. So.
What did Josh say?
I've just put it in classic Sunkissed.
Poor Chrys.
Fuck Chrys specifically. Anyway, what are we doing today?
What are we doing? Is Gangrel the worst? How many points do I have? Because they're going all in yes.
Oh.
Wait, you're voting that Gangrel is the worst?
Oh, they are the worst. There's no question.
I don't agree with that. I have maybe one day I'll do a tier list on my thoughts for the vampire clans, but I would say probably my worst is Caitiff.
They're not the worst. I've only
really
played
put
this one,
5,000 points into yes. Well, I guess now I'm gonna have to do more.
Should we play the tabletop game that we have joined for?
What? We're here to play we're playing a game?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's dice. You know about dice.
You know about dice. Wow.
Also, just a little teasery sidebar. Tash has been trying to recruit her own girlfriend, essentially.
I don't know about this yet. I do not know about this yet.
No, I just thought it'd be fun.
Yeah, no, I agree. Hopefully, we may have a snack shot, and it would be really cool to organize. We may have a snack shot and guest coming in to play Leah at some point. So
you're not invited.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Wow. What? Can I get a wow?
Wow.
That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm offended actually. I'm a little mad. I will take this personally.
Okay.
I mean, I'd have to figure out a stack shot 3 camera thing to go on. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is a technical thing?
Yeah.
You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit. Like if you were a bucket, you would be overflowing with poo. That's how full of shit you are.
Why do your buckets have poo in them?
Who knows? Maybe I work on a farm, okay?
Okay. Do you work on a farm?
Man, shut up, okay? Shut the fuck up. Let's fucking play this game.
Lockdown's been harder.
You know what? I actually signed up to get a vaccine because apparently having ADHD is a high risk, believe it or not. So, yep, found that out.
Is that because people be like, I can't stay in this room, I must wander outside?
Pretty much. Pretty much, honestly. Well, partly that, and also there's like a whole bunch of other shit. But yeah. Let's see.
We'll do intros in a moment. I'm actually like, I'm one person who is not in a rush to get the vaccine because I'm like, I live in my house. I didn't go outside that much anyway, and I could survive. I'm very solo energy, like So I don't need people, which is the exact opposite of Vandy sidebar.
Yeah. Yeah.
I imagine if you like go around the corner from Vandy's like camera position, there's like a table that's been almost completely chewed apart, which is just like, I need the outside.
Fuck, I'm lucky enough to have a little like porch and shit, but like, I go stir crazy, like. I get mean if I like don't see people, and then God forbid you're the first person I see out of quarantine because I'm either an emotional mess or still mean. It's the worst.
I thought it was going a different direction.
Or horny. Yes, thank you, Tash.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So that's Vandy's intro.
Hi. Oh god. If I do an actual intro, I'll let me just say hi. I'm Vandy. You can find me at OMG Vandy pretty much everywhere. I stream on Wednesdays and Fridays right now, playing Among Us mostly. I'm also prepping my dice again, which is something that I've been working on for a while. But I'm actually making the masters and pushing through this kind of mind block, which was 3D rendering everything. So hopefully we'll be able to get some good shit out within the month. I'm pretty stoked about it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to some good things and also potentially seeing people again.
Just remember to empty the bucket first.
Shut the fuck up. God, you're such an asshole. God. Shut up, Sheepy.
Speaking of shut up, Sheepy, Tash, how you doing? How's your intro gonna go?
Well, I think. Hi, I'm Tash now. I do lots of variety content, including I do my makeup. I've been playing a lot of Valheim recently. I'm probably not gonna sew on stream because it's hard work. I'm not gonna lie. You guys make everything take a lot longer. So
wow.
It's true.
Some subliminal shots fired right there. Okay.
It's not even subliminal.
Subliminal.
I'll just say it.
Subliminal.
I'm stuttering today, and you're mocking me, and that's mean. Hi, bye. That's me. You've had our intro. We've been hanging out. This is what we're like.
Sure. And also, hey Hydra. As we have discussed on the last couple of episodes, we all know you're preparing to leave me and abandon me to these 3 women who hate me. So, thanks for that.
That's all right. Good luck. Yeah. So, I'm still going on my return to YouTubing by putting out videos on actually one every 2 or 3 days at the moment. So that's a thing. And I'm basically binging screenwriting courses and converting it into TTRPG GM tips, which seems to be a little bit of a niche that's not been covered yet, although maybe it has a little bit, but I'm doing it good. Nice. And stuff.
Yeah. So you're doing like a video every couple of days? Pretty much?
I have been, yeah. Oh. I've just been watching so many videos on it. I'm like, I just have this thing. I can just click record and talk about it and then stop. Which is pretty much what I do.
I mean, it sounds like you have the consistency of a Vandy poop bucket. Yeah,
I'm
so
semi-solid and...
So anyway, welcome to Vampire the Masquerade.
How do I keep ending up in shows where you exist in them and I have to spend time with you?
Well, I invited you to both of them.
That's not the point.
Right, and more accurately, you said, I was like, hey Tash, do you want to be on this show? And you were like, hell yeah.
Which time? Because I don't remember that.
Both times.
That was not true.
That is
because
true.
I asked Josh first if I should be in it, and he said yes. And
right.
I said, okay.
What's your excuse for the last ditch?
Really love 40k.
Well, that's a lie.
Fair.
Bandit choked.
Oh yeah, no, I Nope.
Okay. So, let's get into it. And yeah. Is that so loud? How's that volume for you guys? Is that too?
I had to turn it down a little bit, but I think because you turned the other one down.
Well,
so
that
much.
that one's actually lower. I don't know. My audio settings confuse me.
I'm good.
Bless you.
Pardon me. So, last week we had a interesting meeting for Alec with Kale, and just conversation and etc. I think I was gonna say Kale. I think Alec is pretty much settled into this point. I didn't want to say it in the Twitter just in case we got in a bee in our bonnet and decided that there was some big thing that Alec needed to go and do. But I think this will probably be the last Alec episode.
Probably.
And we had Nahari, Chris, and Tess get together and then go off to... Oh god, I just remembered what happened. Okay. Get together and went off to go and talk to Sheldon Langdon, the La Sombra. They got some interesting tips about shadow stuff, kind of. Nahari managed to access an ability, which is basically to use her powers over shadow and her La Sombra, her stolen La Sombra techniques to see spirits and hidden things. And Tess was like, yo, I can do that shit too, bro. Let me just boof. And then saw the spirits and also saw something behind Nahari. Which there was a little bit of like standoff for a bit, and then Tess woke up, and as they were leaving, she said to Sheldon that goodbye and acknowledged his friends, and he said it's not always a good idea to acknowledge these things. Essentially, I can't remember precisely what he said. And to which point Tess immediately walked outside and said, "Hey Nahari, you got a fucking ghost following you, bro." After which the ghost attacked them, and Tess went, "Oh, that's what he meant." It is one of my favourite moments of recent times, I must say. Yes. I think that was mostly what happened. After that, you went... Nahari has headed off. Essentially, in the next day or so, Nahari will head off on her solo to kind of like try and get a grip on this whole shadow thing, and Tess. We left off with Tess looking over her own body as we think she was asleep, and there was a wolf howl in the distance, a fairly faint one.
So am I asleep? I mean, do I hear this howl?
You do. It's a ways off in the distance, like very vague, kind of penetrating through walls and whatnot. It sounds otherworldly.
Is it? And you know, I might start walking towards that direction just to see if it's something I can see.
Well, you're currently floating above yourself in your room, but if you'd like to set down on the...
I will. Can I, like, if I'm floating, can I fly?
Can
I try to like swim around, you know?
It's more almost like you're lying on a glass table above yourself, kind of thing.
Oh, weird.
So
okay.
You're not really floating. You're kind of like yeah.
Can I try to stand up? Like,
Yeah, and you can stand up. Your head will go through the ceiling partly, but you can stand up.
Okay. I will stand up and I will.
Essentially, what you feel is like a slight reverse magnetism to what you see as your body, which is kind of like, you know, like two same side magnets. Kind of when you try and push them together, they have this like force in between them that keeps them apart.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So that's basically when you stand up. That's what you like feel on your feet. Is that kind of like slight push.
Ooh, that's such a weird feeling. Okay. Okay, well, in that case then I'll start walking. Like, let me just, can I go through walls? I'm gonna start like walking around.
Well, you can try.
Okay, I wanna try.
Yes. You go to the door and arm goes through.
Cool. I will run through the walls as fast as I can. Just as fast as I can. Or like maybe with a couple arms out, you know, just to prevent myself if something's gonna end up hitting something.
Please please roll me your resolve sere.
Ooh, okay. Resolve Sire. That is a fucking 0. Can I reroll 5?
You could reroll 3.
Oh, it's up to 3. Okay. Well, then I'll reroll 3, because fucking hell. Wow. Seriously, out of 6 dice, I got literally 0. And then I get a crit. Okay. So, was that 4?
That's 4, yeah.
Cool.
I'm assuming that you're not wanting to, like, because you're in the basement, I'm assuming you're not wanting to, like, immediately run through the wall into the earth. So
Not into, yeah, no, it'd be like in the room, like.
Oh, you're just running around the room?
Yeah, just like through the walls.
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, you like basically put on eternal speed. Essentially what I can tell you is there doesn't seem to be any physical attribute to the things you're doing currently. So it doesn't take up any stamina or like muscle power. It appears to be a lot more you know, the faster you kind of like almost will yourself to go is the faster you go.
Okay. I want to will myself to my mom's shop. Just to see if I can go that far.
Okay. You kind of like you conjure up an image of where you want to go, and you can like hear the drills, like the and like, you know, the work that happens, but you don't actually go there.
Okay.
It's almost like you're it's almost like you're picking up vibes from there, or like maybe it's just your imagination, you're not 100% sure, but yeah.
Whoa.
It doesn't seem, at least from that one attempt, it doesn't seem possible to actually like bamf yourself about.
Okay. That's still cool that I can like pick up the vibes and stuff. Okay, so if I'm picking up the vibes, then I want to if I hear the wolf howl, then I'm gonna try to conjure up an image of my dad.
Okay.
And see if I can like pick up his vibes.
You essentially, all you hear is the crackle of leaves and the sound of like the wind kind of slowly moving like branches and leaves in trees and stuff. Essentially what you get is a forest. You don't get any image or anything like that, but you get kind of like that kind of like smell of like out of urban civilization, etc., just off in a forest, God knows where, somewhere. And the sound of someone kind of like crunching leaves as they walk, etc.
I don't get any sense of like a direction or anything, probably.
It was the same with the
Yeah. Okay. Huh. Is it light outside?
you if you like pop upstairs, then you could look out. Yeah, the sun's starting to come up.
Ooh. I just want to like. I'm like so hesitant to like check and see if the light does anything to whatever this is.
Usually you would be like starting to really feel the effects of sunrise and daytime like turning up. You don't.
What? Oh my god! I am walking out into the sun.
Okay.
What?
Yeah, as
Yo!
as you walk outside, the sun's starting to come up, and the beams of light just kind of like trickle over the hill, start illuminating and like lighting up the city, and a beam of light just hits your face and kind of like probably like, actually no, it wouldn't like blind you or anything. You know, it wouldn't have any kind of.
Holy shit. I think I'd kind of low-key be freaking out because I haven't seen daytime in...
For quite a while, yeah.
Whoa. I'm just gonna walk down the street a little bit and just kind of enjoy it a moment. And just kind of see what things look like in the daytime again. See what the parlor looks like and what maybe Sticks and Stones looks like. Just kind of walking around the territory. Shit. Oh, man. Is there anything that like sticks out to me?
Roll me a I think it's gonna be wits. Yeah, roll me a wits discipline, please. Sorry.
Sure. It's a 4.
Yeah, you as you're walking, there is a momentary respite from the sun beaming down on you. What I will say is there is a part of you as you there's no adverse effect from you know, you don't burst into flames, it doesn't set you on fire or anything, but there is definitely a part of you that is repelled by the sun and feels super uncomfortable being out in the sun.
Anxious. Yeah.
So when there's a moment of shadow over you, as the sun gets kind of blotted out for a second, at least from your perspective, you feel a little bit relieved and etc. But essentially, yeah, the sun for a second gets blotted and as if something's moving past it.
Is it cloudy? I mean,
no clouds.
Okay, I'm gonna look to see what's blotting out the sun then.
Okay. There's a few birds flitting off through the sky. There's some pigeons and whatnot, and there's a big kind of big long wingspan, long-legged bird that's just flying around up there.
Like a stork? Or
Yeah.
like a big bird?
Like a kind of it has that look of like a stork or like a flamingo. Like that kind of like long-legged, long neck vibe with like a large wingspan.
It doesn't look like ethereal or anything, right? It just looks like a bird.
It does not look ethereal or anything,
Okay.
but then neither do you.
Are there people around?
Yeah, it's the best way I can describe it is, have you ever seen the films where you have transitions of people walking through and they're a little bit blurry, like they leave trails and like all their conversation is muted, everything about what you're experiencing now, in terms of like the majority of the birds, the people walking around, it's all kind of like that. It's like blurred and muted, and it's almost like an abstract painting in some ways.
Okay, so the birds are like that too then, including this big one.
Some of them, yeah.
Which, okay, there's some that are not though.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch them for a second. I'm gonna see where they're going.
Okay. The majority of like the pigeons and everything, they kind of like blur around and you know, sometimes you lose sight of them and so forth. The stork is just kind of like, it looks like it's riding on thermals up there. So it's fairly stationary, but it does obviously move a little bit. As it moves, there's no kind of like blur to it or.
I'm gonna yell up to it.
Okay.
I'm gonna say, "Hey! Hey! Stork! Stork thing! Person, maybe? Hey!
You just shouting at it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Down here!
You say down here?
Yeah.
Please roll me a resolve and Sire.
3. I can re-roll, maybe?
Yeah, if you'd like to re-roll, you can.
I just don't want to waste all my re-rolls like right away. I'm worried. I'll fuck it. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna re-roll 3. That is a 4.
4. Okay. The kind of, it's essentially a shadow because it's like towards the sun. You can't see any details on it. But what you think is like either a flamingo or a stork. Immediately, as you say, down here, like banks and like floats down towards you, and lands on the other side of the road from where you are, like on the building, kind of cresting. So there's like the sun is like cutting on either side of it, and it's kind of like casting a shadow like down on your face and down on you. But you can probably see it well enough at this point. It is not a stork, and it is not a flamingo. You've probably seen these before when you were younger. This is a crane.
Oh, fuck.
So it's like a very, very pointed, quite long beak with like black head that goes over the top with like a little bit of red, and then down the neck, and there's like a stripe of white. Very, very long, kind of like snaky neck, and like a flamingo stork kind of look to it, but a bit more. Cranes have a bit more of a I want to say majestic appearance to them comparative to like storks and especially flamingos.
This is the point where Vandy thinks she might have fucked up. Okay. I'm gonna say, hey. Okay, so you can hear me then, right?
The head just kind of like very reptilian, is the best way I could describe it. Just kind of and the eyes do that.
Do you know what this is?
I'll do my best to. I'm not 100% sure, but essentially like a croak, like a brah, which kind of you know that sound of dice like rolling in a cave or something, like, or like bones rolling in a cave. It has that kind of like echo to you. It's very much it's like it croaked in a cave at night in the middle of nowhere, as opposed to bright daylight in the sun in a city.
You're not here, are you? What are you doing here? Are you supposed to be here?
1 second.
I feel like I'm gonna end up fucking some shit up here. Oh, fucking hell.
Please roll me a wits, Sire again.
I'm gonna die. That's a 3.
Okay. The wind like kind of swirls and picks up around you, and these leaves get caught in the wind. So essentially, you are not engulfed, but kind of like snake coiled by a procession of leaves, essentially, where it kind of goes around you and up and like up into the sky, and you get like a scent of like cut grass and the best way I can describe it is nature.
Does it smell familiar?
Not exactly, no. But I will say that you're in the middle of the city.
Yeah. Cave. Okay.
Just as a question, how long have you kind of been spending here?
Like, how long was I outside?
How long have you been? Yeah, since you ordered the crane down to the roof. Like, how long would you be kind of contemplating it and?
I would take some time to think about it. Like, if the leaves are kind of around me, I'm not gonna move. I'm just gonna like meditate on it, because it's not like I really need to go anywhere.
Okay. In that case, the crane kind of like one of its legs go up into its body essentially, and its like neck and beak like rest into its chest, so it's kind of in a repose, as it were. And it doesn't pay you much attention, but it just kind of keeps sitting there on top of the roof. And in which case, after a little while, you hear like it's almost like it's like the croak. You hear like the soft thumping of footsteps.
Okay.
Kind of like down the road a little bit, and to the left, it's kind of like heading in this direction.
Can I turn my head to see if anything is coming?
You'd have to kind of go around the corner. It's through. Oh, you could just walk through a couple of buildings and be on the other side of them.
Yeah, I'll kind of stand up or I'll see if are the wind leaves still around me.
No, it was like
It was just like a thing.
It was a thing, and then it kind of dissipated. And there aren't any leaves around you, by the way. Just FYI. So.
Yeah, fair. Okay. So I'll kind of walk over to where that sound is coming from. Just say like, oh, excuse me a moment, and I'll just like walk over.
Okay. Look down the road.
Yeah.
There is a kind of a bit bigger than a person, but obviously like longer and wider. There's I mean, you know what it is. It's a turtle that's kind of wandering down the road.
Hi. Are you looking for something? Are you lost?
It just kind of keeps plodding down the road.
Over here.
Yeah. Resolve Sire, please.
Fucking hell. I'm just curious at this point. It's a 4?
Yeah, it like turns its head, and then its whole body kind of like shuffles a little bit, and then walks like up to you and stops in front of you, and its like head kind of like reaches out and observes you for a second, and then it essentially like its head kind of snakes around, and then its body follows, and it kind of turns around and starts heading off back kind of like off towards the river kind of area.
Cass told me about a turtle that was looking for me, right?
I don't think he told you the turtle was looking for you. He didn't get much intelligent he didn't get any intelligent conversation out of it. I think he mentioned a turtle, but it may have just been to Chrys.
I could have sworn he also mentioned it, possibly. Oh, fuck, I can't remember it. That's so weird. Okay, well then I'm just gonna play it off like I haven't talked to him and be like, okay. All right, so we got a crane and a turtle. This is starting to look like Kung Fu Panda. Let's move on. Okay. Are there any other sounds that I'm hearing or things that I can observe? At this point, I'm looking for animals. Like.
Right. Sorry, I need to keep up with all of my spirit animals who are about the place at the moment. I'm trying to figure out where they currently are.
As if one wasn't enough.
Yeah, it's not, hey, I've got nothing to do with it. It's not my fault.
I'm just curious. I mean, now I'm like, where are all these fucking spirit things coming from? Like, goddamn.
No, currently there aren't any. You don't see anything else about.
I'll walk back towards where the crane was. And
so as you turn around, the crane is still on the top of the building, but the scenery of the city has changed, whereby the crane is on the corner of a is like, so the road that you're on splits into two and goes left and right, and the crane is in the building in the middle. So you basically got a fork in the road, and there's the left and the right.
What's on the right hand side?
Looks to go on for a little while and then turn into forest.
And on the left?
Seems like a road. Just urban city road.
Well, I heard forest sounds from when I was trying to think of my dad, so I'm gonna go down the right path because I want to find him.
Okay. As you go, the the head of the stalk like kind of tucks itself out, and the head like follows you as you head down. The city slowly like transitions into trees and forest, and you start hearing the kind of you start hearing like the crunch of leaves, and you start smelling that like forest smell. You hear like the wind kind of whistling and like rustling the leaves and the branches.
Is the crane like following me, or he's just looking?
He was just looking. You at this point you've probably gone a bit too far to like look back and see him. And if you do look back to see, there's no city. There's just woods now.
All right. Well, I'll keep walking, and I'm gonna like try to do the same thing where I like try to feel the vibes if there's my dad around.
Okay. You, as you walk, you start to feel like a pressure, in your head, almost like your sinuses are blocked, or you know you've got like some type of
like a headache.
a small ringing in your ears, and the trees that were in front of you that have kind of been opening up as you walk, fully like part, so you're actually walking down just to kind of like a forest pathway, almost something that like people have been down multiple times before, until it leads you to an opening, kind of like a big circular opening in the forest, with a gravestone in the middle. It's getting more difficult to like the more you walk, the more you feel like that magnetic force that you were feeling before is kind of like reversed. So you're feeling like a pull as opposed to a push. So as you walk forward, you're feeling like pulled back.
Okay. I want to see if there's anything written on the gravestone.
A bit too far away.
I'm gonna walk towards it, or try to.
Okay. This will be a resolve willpower, please.
Resolve willpower. Hold on. Where's my willpower? Oh. Resolve and... Wait, how do I do this?
So...
Do I do it based on my max willpower or the willpower that I still have?
The willpower that you still have. So
okay, so it's just resolve plus 2?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna reroll.
Okay.
Oh no, can I reroll?
In this instance, yes. It's
okay.
Slightly different from a standard willpower roll.
Okay.
Although we'll leave you with less willpower. Okay, so that's 3.
3?
Yeah, you push forward. Now you almost it's not. I don't think you've ever experienced being burned by the sun as a kindred. I know you stayed up once, and it's like you started to really feel the effects. It doesn't feel like when you stayed up, but you're like. The feeling is of like your skin, like your muscles burning, your skin burning. I don't think you remember the last time you felt like this, weirdly. So what I will say is, as you keep going, at some point you will see your hand and your arm, like the skin like singes off. And underneath is like fur and claw and like elongated like muscles and It starts to happen on both arms, and then like on your legs, and then to your entire body. And
Whoa. Okay. I don't know how much I can push more forward. I don't want to like panic, but I do want to like see if I can still read the gravestone, because at this point I'm thinking, oh my god, what if it's my name on the gravestone?
you need to push a bit further.
I will push a bit further because I am a stubborn bitch.
Resolve willpower, please. So it'll be resolve +1.
Yeah, that's... Oh boy. Whoa. Okay, it's a 3.
3.
Yeah.
You open your eyes in bed.
God damn it! Look at my hands. Make sure they're not actually burnt.
No.
Okay. Fuck me. What time is it?
It is a little bit after sunset.
And just like lay back in bed and just very frustratedly just roll over, I guess. It's just trying to go back into it kind of thing, but I know I'm not gonna be able to, so I'm just like, I don't know.
Would you like to contemplate on a few things?
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be like, I would have rolled over out of frustration, kind of like all I'm doing is thinking about it now.
There is also Cassius's notes that he left for you. You haven't like gone through them whole load.
I mean, I get the premise of the dream, right? Is that like if I go down that path, that's the path where like I have to die as a kindred. My kindred self has to like go away or die or disappear, and then I can become just the werewolf. Right? Like that's the first part that I kind of like took away from that. The one thing I don't know is about this the crane.
Yeah.
But if it's like, my first thought is, okay, it's a crane. The sound sounded like it was in a cave, kind of like at night, whatever. So I'm thinking, my first thought was the crane might be trying to find my dad, and it's actually part of the, one of the clans or something that are trying to track him down. So that's why I was like, oh shit, maybe I fucked up.
There's something about cranes that's familiar to you.
Okay. What?
You can't remember. It was when you were young.
Fuck. Okay. Okay. I'll have to call mom about that. Maybe.
Also, in regards to what you've taken from your dream, like, I won't say whether you're right or wrong. I will just say if that's what you took from your dream, then fair enough.
What? No, come on. Okay, that was Vandy thinking. Like,
yeah.
So what's the test takeaway?
Well, it depends. I mean, obviously at this point, Tess doesn't have enough experience with any of this to really know what's going on.
I will consult the book.
I mean, that's why I mentioned it.
I will consult the book. Is there anything about graves and
I mean,
dying and all that? I don't know.
It's all fairly complicated, and it kind of like the notes that Cassius left for you are essentially the broad strokes of the things he felt you needed to know. If you dive into the book itself and all of the thing, like, because Winnie wrote a lot about the kind of like details of werewolves and kindred and the possible outcomes of mixing and the benefits and the drawbacks and all. Like, there's a lot of theorizing and possibilities. There's not it's a lot more philosophic than scientific in a lot of ways, because there was no way to know like the results. It was one of the drawbacks of the True Bruja is it's a lot of like, I want to say careless, but careless in like a sense of not caring about people and things. It's an interesting intellectual exercise. He didn't think like, oh, what if someone this gets done to someone, and then I look after them and I start to care about them, and you know, all that type of thing.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, this is an interesting exercise, and we could maybe, you know, create a really interesting weapon, and etc. And you know, there's no like there's no moral thought in there with True Bruja. They tend to disassociate quite easily.
I guess I'll start reading a bit of it.
Okay.
Like, if there's anything from the notes that really jumps out at me, then I will kind of take a look at that part. If there is like a reference to a specific chapter or piece, like,
it's still quite early since sunset, and allow me to take a guess, and feel free to contradict this, but I think Chris would probably sleep in.
Yeah, it's just been a bit chill recently. So.
Yeah, it's been some time, so
Yeah, I'm a little relaxed.
In that case, Tess, please roll me intelligence academics.
wow, all
If
two
you-
dice.
If you like, you may rouse the blood, because I feel like this is something you would be like, I'm a cool lot of borrowed blood to help me with this. You get hungry, but you may add 1 dice to this roll.
Mm-hmm. 2.
Okay.
Ah, wonderful.
So
So smart.
I'm gonna give you a choice here as there's a couple of things that kind of stand out to you
Okay.
in terms of the kind of like weird, and also I will say, like, it's a little bit nostalgic for you to be reading this because it's almost written in Winnie's thought patterns and speech patterns, so it's very rambling and sometimes disconnecting, and you wouldn't be surprised if he was talking about the inner workings of a mix of kindred and vampire, and suddenly start talking about like toast or something, because you know it's just
Yeah.
kind of
Oh.
So 2 things that stand out to you is the difference between a kindred werewolf, as in like a werewolf who was turned before they were able to complete the first change, and then there's also some kind of details about happenings in the past, you know, like where a werewolf has been turned into a kindred, you know, like who was already a werewolf after the
their
first change,
Okay.
and kind of like going into, because that's all solid fact. That's stuff that has been written
and studied.
and well, yeah, to a certain extent studied. And also just like along with that, there's more facts on the whole, like the difference between kindred and werewolves, and like it's not in depth, but it's kind of like stuff that Winnie's managed to correlate and to collect. Whereas like the hybrid stuff is a lot more conjecture and philosophy and thought and wonderings.
Mm-hmm.
So you can kind of like, you You notice both of these subjects as you're kind of flipping through and you're trying to find like a tether to jump onto, or like to grab onto, and
Wait. So sorry. Just the first one is the difference between werewolves who are pre-changed into kindred or post-change into kindred.
The first one is more kind of like theories and thoughts on hybrids, which is what you are and possibly the only one in existence. But there's no facts in there. From like your quick read, it seems to be like theorizing and thoughts. Whereas the other stuff is like the difference between kindred and werewolves, the instances of kind of werewolves who've been changed into vampires and like the effects of what happened afterwards.
I'll try to go for like the facts stuff because I feel like that might help me understand the theory part better.
Yeah, you can always come back. You do have a choice of either or. You don't have enough time because this is going to be a fairly large. So
yeah. So I'll do the facts part first.
Okay. So in the past, when a werewolf who has already gone through their change and is already a werewolf is turned on into a kindred, it's very rare that they survive. And even the werewolves themselves would probably be happy that they didn't survive any attempt to like change, because they essentially turn into the typical vision of like a werewolf in some ways, where it's like mindless, hungry, killing machine beast. There's no like humanity or rational thought left there when you come to like they're basically called abominations because essentially that's what they end up as. It's a pretty quick decline, almost not instantaneous but almost, you know. And the reason why they've never been like used or employed properly by anyone is because they are literally uncontrollable and there's no kind of like rationale or thought left. Leads to a lot of death and a lot of destruction, very hard to kill, but very much shied away from by pretty much everyone as like an option. So someone like the old guard, you know, if you have an objective of, hey, let's destroy a city, it's not a bad choice. But it is very much a masquerade breach. You know, for you know, and also it's a problem for the werewolves and etc. So
it's a problem for everyone.
If you did it, you'd probably be hunted down by literally every single supernatural thing that exists. So not advisable. In terms of kindred, kindred themselves tend to focus very much on power, on the kind of, a lot of it boils, so this is where we go a little bit into philosophy of Winnie. A lot of it boils down to survival. The problem with kindred is they are essentially thrown into a situation they're unprepared for, where if you don't have control and maintain power, you're eventually consumed by others of your kind, whether that's just in death or literally. So it's almost like being thrown into a war where you don't have time to think, you just have to keep reacting to survive. And when you finally have like breathing space, if you manage to garner yourself a bit of power, a group of kindred, like-minded kindred who protect each other, you're already in a position where you've adjusted to the new world, and your thinking and your mentality is very much geared around power and protecting and surviving. It's not exactly indoctrinated, but there's an aspect of that there. For werewolves, it's a bit more vague because obviously, you know, Winnie doesn't have any experience of that. It's more like stories he's managed to collect. There seems to be some instances of werewolves going after industrial complexes and dig sites and things like that. He theorizes that it's very likely werewolves have some connection to nature, but it doesn't seem to follow any like understandable route. Sometimes the targets are random and small. It's possible territorial, maybe, but werewolves can be hard to find, and sometimes they just kick around in a massive industrial city for no reason. So it's kind of weird, but they are driven and kind of almost guided by anger and rage to a certain extent, whereby it makes them stronger and it makes them more dangerous. So very often in instances of stories where Kindred has fought a werewolf, like smacking them about a bit just makes them stronger and more dangerous. So
Understandable.
And with all of this, you know, in the notes it does also say, like, these are essentially broad strokes guidelines to both Kindred, werewolves, and, you know, it leaves open the possibility that, you know, people are still people, whereby even if you're a werewolf, it doesn't mean that you're kind of, you have to go down the route, or, you know, it's not like you're locked in to be an angry, furry ball of hair that attacks anything that moves and doesn't like cars or something, you know. Same with Kindred. Like, there are instances of Kindred who live really good lives and, you know, try their best to and also obviously it says, you know, Kindred are immortal, they can live for thousands of years if they're careful. Although as they live, they eventually get so old they start desiring other Kindred's blood because it's more pure than, like, it's more like potent than human blood. Like, eventually human blood kind of just doesn't hit that niche that they need. And werewolves tend to live like shorter and more violent lives. They can live longer, but they tend not to, for some reason.
That's interesting. Okay.
I'm not sure it gives you much insight into anything for the events of happening, but yeah.
It's just something for Tess to consider, really. Like, if there's a chance to turn back, whether she wants to or whether she would want to stay as a Kindred. Because if theoretically there's a possibility to not be Kindred and only be werewolf, it's just a matter, I guess, also partially of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
you know what? Roll me intelligence, Sire. Just purely because you've went through this a little bit and you have some decent thoughts on this.
Okay. That's a 3.
So borderline.
Do I use my last resolve to re-roll 1?
Willpower. It's up to you.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, willpower.
What I'll say is, I cannot promise what I give you currently will be the truth. It will be something that you wonder about. So I will give you something, and it will be in the vein of, but it will require you to basically not be sure.
4. I used my last
Okay.
resolve.
one thing that you can pick up from your experience, probably because it happened twice, is that you seem to have some form or control over spirits. Because both times when you essentially ordered them to do something, they did it. With the crane came down to you. With the turtle came to you when you told them to.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
And because you got 4, that is something that there is no mention of in what you have read so far. Either in the talking about werewolves or talking about kindred and etc. There are kindred who have some like form or ability to control spirits and ghosts and etc., but it's very, very dangerous, and it's very often unsuccessful or ends up in destruction, etc. There's no kind of like, there's no mention of any ability to control like animal spirits, or it's always like ghosts and, you know, the human aspect of things. So
can I try going into that trance state again, where I saw the ghosts with Nahari and Sheldon?
yeah.
Okay.
That will be resolve and city.
The 2. I don't have any other willpower.
No, it's on like the peripheral of your ability, where you're like, you can almost push that, but you haven't had much experience with it, and eventually you just kind of like snap out, and you're like,
Okay.
Well, at which point I imagine Chris probably stomps down, as it's been a little bit of time now, and
Yeah.
and also Sheepy needs to go to the loo.
Chris would probably see Tess on the couch, just like trying to concentrate with the book on her lap. Just
You look like you're in pain. Are you okay?
Huh? Whoa, no. I had a dream again.
Like a
dream with a path. You know, like the other one, except the other one was burning, and then there was one with like a statue. Oh God, so many dreams.
Maybe you should keep like a dream journal. Would that help you?
At this point, I'm just trying to figure out how I've been able to communicate with spirits, and maybe I'm able to give them commands somehow, but that feels like really, I don't know. So I'm just trying to figure stuff out. And honestly, nowhere in these notes is there anything about a werewolf turned kindred before their form who can talk or communicate with spirits. So
that is a bit of a specific problem.
Well, but like, that's not even something that Winnie even theorized, right? Like he has a whole bunch of theories about what I would have been, could have been, but none of them mention being able to talk to spirits at all. I mean, there's stuff about like other werewolves being able to communicate with spirits, but like, and they're not even talking about like animal spirits. They're just talking about like human spirits. But Winnie didn't consider this.
Well, I mean, not just is gravestone an animal spirit? a god guide? Does he count? I don't know. You can ask him.
He's a spirit who marks death. So basically, anywhere where death is, he goes. Or he can be, kind of thing. Probably.
And well, I know that there was the weirdness. I don't know what happened with the wild hunt situation. But if you really need to know, would Gravestone know?
I don't think so. Maybe Morgan would know, who is the wizard who set up a contract or something with Gravestone, but apparently she's A, super dangerous, and B, not one to be fucked with. So, and also, where the fuck would I even find her? So.
Let's not try and find her. I think maybe.
Yeah, maybe not.
Mhm. I mean, we've got enough with Nahari's situation with the shadows and. I mean, you could ask Gravestone. If he doesn't know, he doesn't know, right?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I've now seen a crane and a turtle, so I don't know what to do about those.
Ignore them?
Well, no, I wanted to talk to them to see if there was anything they could, like, help me with. The crane kind of sat there, and the turtle walked up to me, and then, I don't know, I guess left?
I mean, what are you needing help with, like, specifically anyway? Like, what is it that you want to do with the...
I mean, I guess I kind of just want to
spirits?
understand what it is and, like, what I can do, why I can do it, if there's a purpose to it. I don't know. Chris, like, what is... Of all people to be able to communicate with ghosts and spirits and shit, why did it have to be me? Like, I am so good at talking to hot people. Ghosts aren't usually hot. No offense if any are listening. But like, I don't know how to talk to a bird. Do I tweet at it?
Tess, you're you know where it comes from, right? I believe it's come up before.
The spirit stuff? I don't remember, if anything. I thought it had to do with the combination of like werewolf and kindred, but I wasn't 100% sure.
It actually comes from the werewolf part of you.
Was it like a specific... I wasn't sure. Was it a specific clan or a specific type of werewolf?
So Faux Gravestone called you an ambassador, and said that you, and a priestess, and basically said that you had the ability to, basically commune, talk, and basically be an envoy with the dead. Mm-hmm. And that was part of who you were going to be before you, like when you changed, when you became a werewolf properly. Although technically you were always a werewolf.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. So in that case, then I'd be like, how am I even supposed to do what this whole role is, I guess, from the werewolf side, if I'm a vampire? Do I, like, how does it still work? Does it still work the same way?
I mean, I guess not, because I don't feel like I want to mess with werewolves. Like, I don't really want to hang out with one. No offense.
I do. My dad is
what?
one.
Tess, you brought up a good question that will pull you up in your thoughts for a second, which is, does it work the same way? Because there is no mention of ordering and commanding, and yet that's what happened.
I
mean, like, do you have to be, whatever, for werewolves if you only really know your dad? Like, and you didn't, I mean, not to make drama here, but you didn't know he was a werewolf, right? So how are you, I mean, you guess try and talk to him about it, because he might know and he might have struck. I don't know.
I get up and I hold Chrys by the shoulders and I just look at her in the face and I say, I am a werewolf!
You're a kindred, actually.
And a kindred! I'm both!
I know that.
Shouldn't be a thing! And yet it is.
And
so now I don't know if the spirity shit is like, oh, wait.
You're gonna need to use your words. Come on.
I'm just processing, okay? Listen, I'm just thinking if I can hone whatever this is, because I might be able to like ask spirits to do things and they actually do them. What if I could do that and help Nahari?
I mean, but do you remember the time that it tried to kill you?
Because I am a baby spirit person, okay? Like maybe if I just like work at it and I like help some spirits and shit and see if something could work like that, maybe I can help Nahari. And then that way Nahari can have a better handle on whatever her shit is. Right? Maybe?
Makes sense to me.
Good to know you're in. Okay, so this is our plan today. We're just gonna practice this.
I have other things to do.
Cancel your plans. I mean, we're clearly doing this.
Clearly not.
What else do you what could you possibly have to do that's more important than helping me help Nahari?
Well, I have to see if I have a message.
From? Who messages you?
That's rude.
Okay, other than me and Nahari.
Plenty of people.
And maybe like
Sheldon messaged me yesterday. Technically.
Uh-huh.
And
Would you like to, like, call up P. Williker and be like, yo, do I have any messages?
not yet, because I was
who are you expecting messages from?
well, I sent a message yesterday and I
Is
didn't.
Vassia supposed to have messaged back? I mean,
I don't know, probably not.
probably not.
Well, that's a good point. I should check on Danny. Thank you for reminding me.
Okay, well, you have her phone number, so. She's also like a child, so she'll probably be asleep by now. So like maybe just leave a message so that she can check it in the morning when she wakes up.
Just text Danny like, "You good? You okay?"
It's
like,
pretty
never
late.
checked on her
So...
yeah, just send her a text so
Yeah.
it's not like she'll wake up. Well, it'll be at the lawyer's office if I have a message anyway, so I'll give him a ring.
Yeah, let's copy Williker.
Why are you involved in my messages?
Well, I mean, you can call him, and that way you
Yeah.
can stay here, and then we can just work on this. What else do you have to do? Like, really? You're gonna go run around in the woods or something?
You're being so rude.
I just want you to help me help Nahari. And also, I'm still mad at you, by the way. So, you kind of owe me, like, something.
Tess, you get a text.
Okay. checking my phone.
It's from a number you don't recognize, but it says borrowed a phone tomorrow night, sticks and stones. And then like a dash and Castor.
I will reply, sure, sounds great. Looking forward to it.
While she's texting, I'm like quickly on the phone so she can't tell me off anymore.
Yeah.
While she's distracted.
Just like looking down, like smiling slightly, despite herself.
And I'm like texting it like, and I can't do it tomorrow because now I'm busy tomorrow night, but so tonight.
But when you look up, like Chris has moved away and is also like huddled in the phone in the corner.
I'm gonna try to go up to her and just like listen in.
Hello?
Hello, P. Walker?
Yes. Miss Chris?
Yeah, it's Chris.
Yes.
I just wanted to know if I've got any messages today.
Yes, you did receive a reply from the person who, you messaged.
Right.
It simply said, sticks and stones tomorrow night.
Perfect. Great. Okay, cool. Thanks.
Okay.
Okay, bye. Thanks.
Hello? Hello? Okay, bye.
So I'm free today now.
I will say that you did not activate,
because I wanted to go right up and listen.
Yeah, Would you like to make it a roll, or
I'll
you?
roll
Are you
for it.
okay?
I'll roll for it. I would have wanted to be nosy
okay.
in here. Yeah.
That's totally fine. In that case, we will go for both of you, dexterity and athletics, I think, as you're both kind of like.
Not fair.
I mean,
I feel like I should get a bit of a minus because of one-handed. Just get out of my face. It's not like a serious.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like she does this all the time. She's so
I would
nosy.
argue wits because I am trying to smartly outwit Chris into getting closer to her phone so I can listen.
And how are you smartly doing that?
By avoiding her hand and
right. So quickly moving in certain directions, which is almost like dexterity, athletics.
Dexterity wits. Dexterity.
You know what? I'll allow dexterity wits.
And I'll do wits athletics then, right?
You can do
athletics.
dex athletics, yeah. I want to be really dexterous,
to be
sheepy,
fair,
but
I only rolled
intelligently.
2.
Yeah, Chris only rolled a 2. But you do have rerolls, and Tess does not.
And I don't. I got a 3.
Would you could reroll 3 if you succeed 2, you will beat Tess.
Meta wise, I know that he didn't say her name, so I'm good.
But did I hear sticks and stones tomorrow night then?
You would have, yes.
So I mean, how do you want me to help you? Because we were supposed to do this. Do you remember? After you nearly died again, and then we were supposed to go to Gravestone and speak to him about the spooky ghost. And I don't really know how I'm supposed to help you here.
Wait, do I know? I know that gravestone, the fake gravestone stuff. Yeah. Yeah, gravestone's not there anymore. So, also wasn't actually gravestone apparently. It's super. Listen, spirits are weird. Okay, this one like took over something and then like pretended to be him and then like did things and got power and then left. So gravestone's not there anymore and was never actually there.
That sounds great.
Well, it's kind of shitty actually, but you know.
Yeah, there was sarcasm.
So.
Okay.
So what we can do maybe we can ask Saturday. And then what I need you to do is basically...
Hey, Tess, where is Saturday?
No fucking clue.
Yeah, you guys haven't seen Saturday for a while.
Yeah, I'm gonna try texting him or something, maybe, like...
Okay. What do you want to say?
I was gonna finish...
Yo, bish, where you at?
Well, first I'm gonna peek through the hole in the wall to see if he's in there. So
No, he's not.
he's not in there, okay. I'll text Saturday and be like, hey, I haven't seen you in a few days. Are you doing all right? Do you need any help?
It's quite late now for you guys, so you probably would receive a reply in the next 30 minutes or so, which would say, doing better, thank you. My regards to everyone in memoriam. I'm currently in the wilderness in New York State. Thank you for your concern.
W-U-T? What?
What?
Which part are you wondering about?
The New York State part?
I've gone to visit Winnie's family.
Oh. Any idea when you're gonna be back?
No.
Okay.
He left like a few days after Cassius. Just meta FYI. About the same time Eli left. Which also you do not know. Meta.
Yeah.
Wise.
Meta-wise, I know we're hurting for some security.
Okay. So Saturday can't help, but maybe we just, I don't know, just try to communicate or like find, what would Cass do? Find books or something about it?
I mean, I know a bookshop that I
Fuck, let's
introduced
go-
Cass
let's-
to.
I don't know
so-
what to do. Let's just go find books on it.
Okay. Let's go to the book hole then.
What are you trying to find books on?
Communicating with spirits.
Communicating with spirits.
Animal spirit, like anything to do with like communication.
So Cassius left the majority of his books here. You'd also have the library in the office. So between those, you probably have a better chance of finding something accurate there than in the book hole, because the book hole is more like, hello, I'd like...
Goddess can help us.
Okay. Well, I mean, it is a little bit more like you'd have to go to Gladys and ask if she had anything about communicating with spirits, and she'd give you like a book about, you know,
oh yeah, has Ouija boards for dummies.
Ouija boards for dummies. if you wanted something more accurate and more like legitimate, you'd have to order it, and it would take time, and you know.
Okay.
That's kind of how
Well,
Cass did
let's
it.
look through Cass's books first, and then we can go like.
Okay. Let's do that.
Okay.
I will also not bring up that I heard the that
Tomorrow night at
tomorrow night.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Saving that for
Yeah.
a fun surprise.
Oh, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna text Gimlet and just be like, "Hey, I have a date tomorrow at Sticks and Stones. Also, I think Chris might be meeting someone there. So just make sure there's like, well, you just set something up real nice. Not a double date, but just something where like I could observe what she's doing. You know, maybe something."
Did you want her in a tank?
Well, I have my office, and then there's like fancy room, something downstairs. I don't know. There could be something.
There's no, yeah. There's like a storeroom and yeah. There's your office. There's no real other like aside from the main. It's a club. It doesn't have like
yeah.
like if you wanted, you could start talking with Gimlet about some like VIP rooms or you know like extensions and stuff. But
Like we did in the club when we first went feeding.
Yeah. Oh my god, that throwback. Yeah.
just a sidebar for you, because you have been working at Sticks and Stones. You have seen, I think it's Jamie and
is it hot couple?
Is it Jess and Jamie or Jess and Jeremy or something? I think.
I think
it's Jess and Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jess and Jackson.
Jess and Jackson.
Jackson. Yeah.
You've seen them out and about. They appear to still be together, but it's fairly like open to a certain. It doesn't seem serious. Just like a little throwback to let you know that you've seen them about.
Okay. Yeah. No. I'll say I'll give Gimlet the idea of VIP rooms, and also say, hey, can you set something up that's like a little bit nicer for me up in my office, like a dinner thing, you know? And then also that Chrys is coming with somebody, and I need to know who eventually, so keep an eye on that.
Okay, so the reply you get is a one word with a question mark, and then a winky face, which is beds.
No. That might be a bit too forward.
Hidden beds.
How date
question mark winky face. Pull out beds. hidden beds in the wall, baby.
Oh my god. We'll see how this date goes first, and then maybe for date 2. Good ideas though.
Gimlet's always
I like where your head's at.
Gimlet's always on the same freaking wavelength, man.
Oh man, he's like the monkey part of Tess's brain to just come to life. And I think that's why she gets along so well with him.
Yeah, he's all impulse and random ideas, and you know, so
he's a good idea, man. I mean, for real.
Yeah.
Never would have thought a Nosferatu and a Toreador would be like best of friends.
I mean, it's not exactly the best of relationships in terms of
pretty good relationship.
You two egg each other on way too much for each other's good.
Listen, we're ride or die kind of business partners, okay? Like that's what we need in life, okay? If somebody's gonna go down, the other person better not squeal, okay?
I imagine like a flashback where it's like Tess and Gimlet meeting for the first time, and Tess is like, human shop, huh? And then just like under the arm while Chrys isn't looking, just bro fist, and then like from that moment they were best friends forever.
Oh god, fucking love Gimlet. Out of all the NPCs, like the non-romantic one of Gimlet is probably my favorite, truly, just because of how complimentary is. But anyway, yeah, so I'll just say like where your head's at. We'll see how day 1 goes.
Okay.
But yeah. Okay, let's look through
Books.
So, we will fade away from Tess and Chrys doing research, which is something I never thought I'd say in my life. Please, both of you, roll me intelligence academics.
Can I roll minus dice?
Sure.
Is that possible?
if you would like to, absolutely.
No, I mean like it's probably gonna happen.
Oh,
Let's see how it pops. I could have
both
won.
got a 1.
Yeah. You know what? Some of us have got rerolls.
Wow. Okay, go off then.
Go for that too.
Ooh,
There you
not a
go.
10 though. All right. Solid 2.
So, we will see what you find out maybe a little bit later. And we fade in with a the room illuminated by a fire, quite dark and quite very quiet vibe about the house. Probably I wanted to say Alfred, but it's not Alfred, is it? It's Christian.
Christian.
With Christian currently running the household by himself again, with the what are they called? The temporary kitchen staff gone after the dinner party. Alec is at repose in his study. The fire flicker, very quiet, very calm. You have been dealing with your domain, essentially. Ever since the dinner party, you have been talking to anyone who seems influential or even possibly useful. You have a decent ability to spot potential in people, and you have a pretty good ability to charm people and to talk them around, even when they're initially like hesitant, which you have a certain creepy vibe, no offense. So it does happen sometimes, but luckily your way with words, and especially your very impeccable manners, tend to ingratiate you towards people, because people aren't used to that type of thing. There's a certain knight gallant aspect to it that is appealing to people.
Was Christian about the house?
Yes. You occasionally. He's quite quiet. For the most part, but you do occasionally hear like the tinkle of glass or the crockery on crockery as he's moving things around.
I will summon Christian, be it via voice or bell, whatever is my...
Probably just shout out to him.
Yeah. Christian.
Yes, sir. He's at the door. At like the doorway as you... Like, you finish the N in Christian, and he's already like, yes, sir.
I wanted to ask you, how did you feel about assistance the other night? Was it enjoyable? Was it something you would benefit from, having assistance?
In most cases, sir, assistance is always appreciated. It gives me time to properly see to all of my other tasks. But do rest assured, if you're worried about me not being able to fulfill my work, I will always complete the work I have assigned.
No, Christian. Do not worry. There was no implication of dereliction of duty. I simply wonder if and when the time will come that you may impart your knowledge to another. How do you feel? Is it imminent? Or do you wish time to contemplate?
I would be perfectly willing, sir, to start training up a new employee.
Perhaps your most challenging task yet.
I feel that the... sorry, this is Sheepdog here. What's the word for when you have to like make it through certain tasks to be viable for a position? Like selection process, maybe?
Files?
It's like you have to like tick off certain boxes to...
Criteria?
Criteria, yeah.
Not quite.
Qualification?
Qualification. It's like it's like...
assessment,
prerequisites.
Oh god, there is a word that is on the tip of my tongue, which is like vetting. Vetting.
The vetting process.
There we go. I feel like the vetting process will be quite strict, and but I'm sure we could find someone who is able to survive.
Yes, a good idea. If you wish, and there is no rush, but should you find a candidate, I will allow you to put the name forward. I will keep a few eyes open, looking for one myself.
Of course, sir. Also, incidentally, sir, I don't mean to raise the issue out of turn, but I did hear you conversing about a local group of ruffian youths who have been operating in the area.
Yes.
I was wondering if you would like me to deal with the situation.
How would you suppose to deal with such a situation, Christian?
I was going to ask you how you would like me to deal with it. My thoughts were to put the fear of, well, me into them. However, if you would like them disappeared or made an example of, that can also be arranged.
I would like you to find where they live. I would like the precise details. And above all, I would like to know who owns that property.
Very well, sir. No immediate action required then, sir?
I have something more cunning in mind, but rest assured I am tempted to have you strike them down, but I feel there may be alternative ways to deal with this.
Very well, sir.
Indeed. I will allow you to return to me with such information. I look forward to it, in fact.
Of course, sir. I will be about that duty immediately. And of course, if you need me, merely call and I will be here.
Indeed.
And he does like a kind of short bow, kind of at the waist, almost like he's on a hinge.
There's going to be a degree of beard stroking by Alec for a few moments as he contemplates.
Now,
Do I have anything on my agenda today? Is there anyone I am due to meet or?
There's a council meeting in about a week or so. You have your rounds to do, and there's sundry requests are starting to come in from people who want to ask you a favor or offer their assistance. Essentially, what you are starting to build up here is a network of favors given and taken, and etc. In your domain and about your the populace, as it were, your subjects, let's say.
Christian.
So, he like raises his head slightly.
If you may telephone to the companions of mine.
I assume. Do I have a number for the Office of Memoria?
Yes.
I would assume so.
Yeah.
If you may leave a message that I am about to embark on my rounds at some point, and there was a student nurse that wished to accompany me, by all means do not apply pressure. That would be rude, but an open invitation.
Of course, sir.
If you wish, and the time can be designated by herself. I will make myself busy and return if need be, but again, no pressure.
And I shall basically pause until he responds.
Very well, sir. Would there be anything else tonight, sir?
That is all for now. I will await your response, if you may. I will be here waiting.
Of course, sir. I will make my way then. And he bows and heads off, as that was probably close enough to a dismissal in these circumstances.
Alec is thinking he doesn't want to make any plans for the evening. If Chrys were to then say, yes, she would like to assist, then he would be very rude if he had scarpered off gallivanting. So once he knows whether his invitation is accepted or rejected, he can make himself busy.
Can I take the guess, Chrys, that it will be yes, but not tonight? Because I've got an annoying friend who is like poking me even at this moment to study books.
Honestly, if Chris had just told Tess what she wanted to do, she'd be like, yeah, okay, go do
Chris
it.
would definitely like try to go and have a little bit of an argument just to get away with from Tess and books.
Tess would eventually just be like, okay, whatever, just go. I'll read then.
Okay, for sure.
Stop by the. Actually, it would give her time to stop also by the lawyer's office to go pick up some books.
Sure.
So I'd still have to do the work. Okay.
Bye.
Yeah.
Can you get me a burger on the way back?
No, I'm already doing
Please?
it. I'm looking at books already.
Okay.
The worst excuse I've heard in my life.
She doesn't want to go pick up a burger that she can't eat.
Yeah.
And I bet Tess didn't even give her any money for the burger.
I literally have a club that you drink for free at.
Yes, because Chris goes there all the time.
You drank for free at once. And you can get any kind of food you want.
She's not had a drink at your club.
Well,
No,
you
she
should.
has. Yeah,
She has.
because you guys went there to feed.
The first. When?
Yeah. There's an overhead cost to that.
After Sheldon Langdon.
Kristen.
Oh yeah, Kristen drink. That's true. Okay,
Oh shit.
That's fair
No,
enough.
she didn't. No.
Heh.
You did make out with her sister in there though.
She doesn't know that. Well,
Yeah, no,
she
she
doesn't know
doesn't. No, she doesn't know that. I don't
that. She
think.
doesn't know that.
No.
She also, so.
Just that way your next drink is free at Sticks and Stones.
And Chris is already gone.
Yeah,
Just
she's already gone.
Kinda shouted to herself.
Yeah, I guess Chris is joining you, Alec.
There's a knock at the door. Let me adjust the music here, as this is more like schemy foreshadowing as opposed to, you know, going out on rounds.
This should be interesting.
There is a knock on your door. Christian answers it. Sorry, 1 second. Miss Hart. Please, come in.
Stumpin, not very happy now.
Mhm.
He didn't address it. I don't think he said that to her last time, did he?
No, he did not. It was the first time he met you.
No, because we went to the dinner party.
Yeah, on the dinner party, it was the first time he met you.
And he didn't. Okay.
Welcome to Christian.
Folded arms.
Yep.
Like. Okay.
Sir, it's kind of like shouting up the staircase. Miss Chrysanthia Hart to see you, sir.
It's rude to shout people's full names.
I believe it's very proper to announce a guest as they arrive, and give them due respect of their full names.
In like the 1800s, probably.
It is as beautiful a name now as it was back then. A pleasure to meet you, Chrysanthia.
No. Okay, let's
You get a
this
bow.
straight. It's Chris. Thanks.
Chris it is. The savior of Weirgate. One poor victim at a time. Are you ready to tend to the wounded?
I'm not. I don't have any actual. I'm not actually good at. I mean, I've done like first aid on myself, and my friend Aiden is ridiculous, but in terms of actual knowing, maybe I shouldn't help. Really.
Chris, do not fret. Anyone we meet is likely to get better anyway. If they are not, nature will take its course. But the least we can do is be polite on the way.
I can be polite.
I will assist. Do not worry. All will be well. And remember, above all, this is for our souls as much as theirs.
Okay.
Good.
She's very dubious about how this is gonna go.
Okay.
Not
So
because of Alec, but because of Chrys.
you spend a little time going round on the rounds and basically assisting Alec as he for the most part there's not too much like doctoring to do. It's mostly checkups and everything. I imagine as you go, Alec, however, you are kind of like, it's almost like doing the rounds. You're treating and teaching at the same time. Therefore,
Yep.
Please roll me an intelligence and medicine.
Okay, there's got to be a re-roll there.
I expect there would be.
Chrys really brings the tone down.
3.
Okay, three is decent. Chris, please roll me a. Okay, Chris. My question here is: what are you trying to pick up here? Are you trying to pick up the minutia of doctoring, as in like terms and etc., or the more practical knowledge of things like first aid and?
The practical knowledge
Okay.
of it.
In that case, please roll me wits medicine.
Can I use my specialty?
You may.
Yeah. You're so special. And I got a crit there, so
You
I got a
did.
5.
You got a 5. In that case, please take another dot of medicine. As throughout all of this, essentially like you still wouldn't be able to doctor or like diagnose people. It is the more basics of first aid, and you know, there's probably someone with like a broken wrist who doesn't want to go into that's
Understandable.
maybe
no
something
wants to wait in A&E.
Yeah, maybe something reasonably clean that is easily set and safe to, you know, like skip the details of, especially
Like a fracture rather than a full break.
Yeah. And so you feel a bit more confident about being able to deal with those kind of like practical injuries. If someone had a cough, you wouldn't be able to tell them what it is. You'd say it's probably a cough. Whereas Alec would much more be able to diagnose and to advise. And yeah, as you go through, Alec, question.
Yep.
Are you in any way consciously like you have a certain elevated level of respect and deference even from when you were a doctor? Are you trying to not have that be clear, or are you like okay with it being obvious, or not even obvious, like easily read, as it were?
Would you rephrase that for me? Sorry, Hydra's having difficulty digesting that sentence.
So yeah, no, it was a weird sentence. So as you're going around, the people you treat are people in your community, the people who are basically essentially your subjects at this point.
Yep.
Your name has gone around, and they don't just see you as a doctor; they see you as more like an authority and a respected member of the community now. That's something that you can kind of through social manipulation basically make less apparent to Chrys if you don't want her being like, why is everyone treating you like a king?
I want to try and use it to make people be nice to her.
Okay.
So I want to be like, oh yeah, you think I'm a big deal? Here's my friend, so therefore she's a big deal.
Okay. That
So I want to try and spin it.
that will probably be charisma. Either charisma persuasion or charisma leadership in this instance.
Oh, can I go with leadership?
Sure. It will make it a bit more obvious than persuasion, but if you'd like to reroll, you may.
Oh, go on, let's out with a bang. I'll take the 4.
Yeah. Chris, if you'd like to pick up on this, it will be wits insight, and it is not massively difficult to kind of pick up on the slight change in vibe and attitude.
Try pick up that he's trying to turn it, or the all.
Well, no, trying to pick up that that they treat him slightly more deferentially and
Yeah, I
differently.
think she'd be paying attention a bit because we don't really interact with people that much.
No, and the maze is a
Two
different
months.
beast too. Definitely don't pick up what Alec is doing. Probably like vague vibes of they seem to be not like afraid of him, or they seem to be, I wouldn't say deferential with that role. Maybe a bit more. They seem to like him.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they seem
would
to quite
say-
like you as well by
That's weird.
association.
I think you are a natural, Chrys.
I don't think I'm very good at it, but I think I mean it makes sense for things I already kind of knew. But you seem to get on with everyone. Do you like see everyone often?
I do my rounds, and I serve as best as I can. I find it is good for one's soul, what little is left.
Yeah, we don't really like hang out with people.
You should try it. They seem to like you.
Well, the last time I did, it didn't go great.
Yes. Better not to socialize on an empty stomach.
Well, no, it wasn't for me. Yeah, it was when someone else saw us.
Oh, I see.
And kidnapped
Yes.
him.
Oh,
Um,
dramatic.
it was pretty dramatic.
Well, rest assured, I like to keep my little patch of land here free of drama. Speaking of which, there are some delinquents I have Christian looking into. I look forward to dealing with them. Hopefully he gets back to me soon.
Seems to know a lot of names.
A man of many talents.
And how how did he find my first name? Because not many people know it, and that annoys me. I'm going to be honest.
I would suggest to ask him. But, if I may, be so bold, but you should be proud of who you are. One's name is part of that. Every syllable.
Everyone thinks you're so like floral and cutesy, and oh,
I am sure many a man has died throughout history to a flower. I would not forget that.
Chris is like,
I'm not a murderer.
it's like, wait, is this good or bad? I don't understand. Why don't I just need to know how he knew, maybe. It's important
Well,
information.
Perhaps a little bird told him, but by all means you may ask, but I would dare say you are somewhat gifted in triage.
Yeah, as I say, my friend would tumble wrong quite often.
I see.
So
I have a little one perhaps you would like to meet. I would like to check up on them.
like a short person.
Yes, very. Young as well.
Please stop. Oh, like a kid, right? Okay. Is this about the
Indeed.
Pokemon?
Perhaps.
Okay.
I would like to check on how they're doing, but while we're there, perhaps you can Pokemon them.
No,
Uh,
that's
one-
not how.
One thing I will say is it's kind of late for that kid.
Oh, it's
So
too
he'll
late.
be- yeah, he'll be asleep at this point.
Next time. Apologies. I thought it was earlier.
It's easy as a kindred to forget that human children tend to sleep early, so.
Yes.
And especially for Alec, who's, like,
Pokemon's not a verb.
I see. I will study some more. In the meantime, I do say Mr. Kale is positively delightful.
He was really odd when we met him. Like, no offense to him.
I could
But
perhaps
odd.
see some individuals seeing him that way. But to me, he was a charming, radiant man.
You probably get a little bit of side eye from Chris that you don't notice, where it's just
Or
like, uh-huh.
Chris is like, well, he gave away territory because he didn't like the shape of it. So he's not.
Yes. Well, I perhaps, if you wish, and the choice is yours, but I have invited him back for... I'm not quite sure what yet, I haven't decided. Entertainment at the very least, but if you'd wish to join, you're more than welcome.
What, today? Like now?
Oh, no, soon, but not too soon. I wouldn't want to be too pushy. It would be rude.
I mean, I guess it's good to be on good terms with everyone, so sure.
Especially when they're voting on the future of the city.
Yeah. The siring thing. Appreciate that being brought up, maybe.
Indeed. Would you have a particular whim as to which way one should vote? I would take your advice under advisement, of course.
To not? Personally, but I mean, I don't know everyone's situation, I guess. But I don't know, it depends. It depends. But also I don't really want everyone just like if everyone
Yes.
just sires like 10 people and then there's just
Less is more, as they
Kindred
say.
everywhere. But yeah, I'm busy tomorrow, so I can't hang out tomorrow if it's tomorrow.
Noted. You are off on some adventure?
The type. I went away for a week or so. You might not have noticed, being in the maze and peeved. Yeah, people are pretty peeved at me right now.
Oh, really? I'm sure the fault is theirs entirely.
Right?
Yes, quite.
It's completely reasonable to believe us that you have some time for my actual self instead of flesh monsters and fighting and gore.
One is entitled to a holiday every now and again.
I feel like we should hang out more often, Alec.
Absolutely. Is there anyone you would have me speak to? I can put in a good word here and there.
I mean, well, Tess is mad at me, but I've helped her today. I need to remember to pick up books. No, I feel I've got a handle on it, but thanks.
Good. Flowers and chocolates. Galore, should you ever upset a lady. This is the very least, and apologize.
Chris just has a sudden realization of she hasn't apologized to Tess yet. Like, well, it's not completely my fault, actually. So I don't see why I should apologize. But,
For the sake of one's friendship. An apology is not simply to admit fault, it is there to cement what binds you as companions.
Irish stupid burger.
That's a good start. Would you... Perhaps we can have Christian cook up something. Unless you think the burger would be more to her tastes.
No, she'd like a burger. She asked me for a burger, so, and I told her no. So if I get one, that
all the
is
sweeter.
even better. Yeah.
I like it. If, however, you would like, we could throw in a pudding. That's all I'm saying.
Well, Chris is like suspicious of Christian because he's vaguely annoyed.
Yeah.
Every time he comes, we'll see what he's got. I don't want to. I mean, we can ask him when I'm asking him questions.
Indeed, an interrogation.
As long as you don't mind.
Oh no, I long to see how he holds up.
Great.
It is important to test one's subjects from time to time, and he is a reliable companion.
So, is it okay? This might be rude, and if it is rude, please feel free to tell me. Is he a ghoul? Is that a thing? Is that rude? I mean, I've been known to be rude. I am sorry if it's rude.
It is not rude at all. One day Christian will get all that he deserves, but for now he is a loyal subject.
But he's just
Christian.
Just Christine. Okay.
And much more, but a name is not all we are, but it is part of it. So, to burgers and sweets.
Burgers. It's like there was an attempt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should probably get like a double cheeseburger with bacon and onion rings.
Okay. Alec, are you heading back to yours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna head back and see if I can throw a quick challenge to Christian to cook him a pudding while being interrogated by Chrys.
Yeah.
Okay. Just as a side note, you've been researching your area of town. Would you have left that to Christian, or would you have wanted to do that yourself?
In terms of general history of the area, or?
Yeah.
A bit of both, I would imagine.
All right. Then please roll me a intelligence and academics.
Be something Alec would enjoy doing in his spare time. So.
Yeah. I just need to see if you've. Do you want to reroll?
What are your rolls today?
All the rerolls.
All the rerolls. 4.
4.
So, you have bits and pieces, and you're starting to find out more about the city in general. One thing you found out is that this area that is known as the Maze is merely a nickname that has been adopted by the city due to its maze-like structure and nature of the buildings and of the roads and everything. Basically, anyone who doesn't live here who comes to visit gets lost in the maze and invariably ends up asking a local like where the fuck they are. And then the local is like, I know it's a maze, right? And they're like, yeah. So that's how it's called the maze. Its actual original historical name was Sable Market. Sable being another word for black. Essentially, in the past, this was a place where people gathered in like back alleys and stuff to sell like stolen goods. And we're talking like 1700s.
Okay. I will entertain Chris with that on our walk home.
There you go. And eventually you get back. Christian opens the door, which is funny because when you were leaving, he was also leaving to go and do the jobs that he supposedly has. But welcome back, sir, and miss.
I hope you do not mind. We have company for the evening.
Of course not.
And a culinary challenge.
Oh, what type, sir?
Chris, what do you think the fair maiden would like?
Can you make something that looks like a burger, but is a dessert? Is that? Because then she gets 2 burgers.
Possibly some type of sweet dough around sorbet.
Yeah.
Very well. And he
Chris is like, I have no idea.
he moves off to the kitchen.
And I'll just, I'll just follow him. Are you coming? You want to come?
I will listen if you do not mind.
You want to go repose in a seat for a while?
Yes.
So
Kitchen.
I don't spend enough time in the kitchen. Perhaps I should
Well, it's not like we need
remind
it, really, is it?
myself. Indeed.
So Christian kind of busies himself about the kitchen, getting out different implements, sieves and whatnot. You see him like measuring out some sugar, sieving some flour. Starts to like knead the dough and etc. Little time goes past. You're kind of standing there awkwardly, I assume.
Yeah, it's gonna be out of nowhere. Like, so Christian.
Yes, miss.
I hear you do a lot of research.
When I find the time, miss.
And basically, where did you find my name, man?
I'm sorry.
My full name. How did you find it?
I looked into it, miss.
Yeah, but where did you get the info from? Because it's not really. It's not like you can just Google me. Just Google Chris, and it pops up.
No, but you have places you have been and places you have lived, and all you have to do is follow the crumbs back to the origination, and you can find a person and the details of them. It is very much an elementary thing, and you hear the door like knock knock knock, and like you turn your head to, you know, in reaction to it, and when you turn back, he's not there. And you hear him, hello, yes, no, I'm sorry, we don't need a subscription to that newspaper. Thank you very much, however, please do call again. And then he, like, walks back in. Sorry about that, duties to attend to. What were you talking about? And he goes back to...
The question...
Yeah.
I have a zeroed mask. Which is why I'm deeply suspicious of how he's found this information. But so he's a dirty liar. Okay, fine. That's how.
Would you like to wits insight him?
Yeah, I would.
Okay.
Because that's.
Please roll me a wits insight.
It's not supposed to be possible. Fudge! I'm re-rolling 3.
Okay.
I got
3.
2 more, so 3 overall.
As far as you can tell, he is telling nothing but the honest to God truth.
The question is, Chris, would you rather do without a phone or a full name?
Was it my phone, Christian? Was that the...
Perhaps.
Because Kafka does good work. And if there's a problem
With your phone?
with my phone...
There is no problem with your phone. Your phone is quite secure. It's impressively secure, even so.
Chris is like freaking me out. Good. And when did...
And then he, like, while you've been distracted, he has made a sweet burger. It is like frosted sugar over kind of like a sweetbread dough. And then in the center is what looks to be a patty of strawberry sorbet. With and if you look there is like some like sweet cream on top as opposed to like a sauce. My advice would be to take it to the lady in question before it melts. However, it is designed to melt into the dough, so it shouldn't be too messy regardless. If there's nothing else, sir, I will carry on about my duties.
I believe everything has been settled. Is there any news yet on the rapscallions?
I have located a couple of them. I will endeavour to locate the other 2 as soon as possible, sir. I expect results by tomorrow night.
Marvelous. Well, I can always wait, although one is keen to get the ball rolling, but...
Of course, sir. But they will be not going anywhere, so...
Indeed, they won't. I will wait.
Very good, sir. Miss? And he walks off.
Thanks, Christian. I'm assuming it's like on a little plate or...
Yeah. It's got kind of like it's got a dish with a like glass covering that's been left in the fridge,
So
so
fancy.
it's like cooled down, so it keeps like the coolness with it for a little while.
So Christian's a bit scary.
Reassuring is how I find him.
Reliable is a good word to describe him.
Competent.
Yeah, very competent.
Indeed.
How do you know about my phone?
Best to hire good help if you are to hire some, and vet them thoroughly.
I feel like maybe we could do with your vetting process.
Probably.
I'll have a talk with Tess about it.
Happy to help, ornithological or otherwise. Vetting is always a pleasure.
Alec, just to touch on this, Christian was essentially inherited.
I
So,
I trust
like,
the.
I just wanted to make sure
Yeah.
that you're not like promising anything that Alec can't necessarily deliver.
That's fair. That's fair.
Well,
You wouldn't
thanks.
Oh,
share that though.
No.
Just-
That is going much deeper down Alex's
Chris is
history.
just like, geez, maybe we need one of these guys because Pee Willick is great, but
I mean, there's
doesn't
a
check my
place
phone out.
there's a place you can find them, but it's not somewhere you'd likely look.
I could always lease him, I suppose. He's
Alec,
competent, but
you could reach out
Yep.
to the family if you like and see if they have anyone spare for They would be open to, like, if they do have a family member who is available.
yes. If you wish to have someone more thorough.
I say family, it's more of a clan, but whatever.
Looking after your own, then all you need to do is ask. But his qualifications, I believe, speak for themselves.
Yeah. Well, and maybe we should maybe we'll have a chat about it because we get broken into all the time.
Really? I'm quite sure we could deal with that.
Okay. I mean, I'm gonna take this to Tess now.
Indeed. Remember the apology. Also, to break into one's home without permission is quite rude.
It is rude.
Unnerving.
They've been friendly, but it's a bit of a concern for me. Yeah.
I would say that Chris would note that Alec has asked for permission to enter every house he's entered this evening.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she maybe she thought he was doing a weird like vampire trope idea.
It could be a weird vampire trope. It could be a real vampire thing. Who knows? Like,
Quite unsettling, but one's security is paramount.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have a chat with everyone about it, and I might well take you up on that.
Indeed.
But obviously, then we'll have to talk about what.
Of course.
Yeah. Is
All of that.
So.
Once more,
great.
you did a admirable job this evening. Thoroughly impressed.
I'm pretty surprised too. But
And
thanks.
remember, the apology is not just an apology.
I'm bringing you food.
And it is not just a burger.
So Chris has got like the greasiest burger and then the nice burger.
and then
Yeah, but she's forgotten the books
right.
from the office.
Tess, you were given a essentially sloppy kebabby burger, and also a pristine and beautiful looking dessert burger. Which, just a sidebar, when you bite into it, you realize that the like dough part has banana jelly, like banana it's
Like custard kind of thing.
no, not like American jelly, like a British kind of like more solid Jello type.
Ah, whoa.
Yeah,
Jam?
it's
Is that what they call it over there?
No,
I don't
Jello
think
is jam.
they call it like Jello, yeah. So it's
No,
like
Jello is jelly and
yeah.
jam is just jam.
Jam, yeah. So
Nancy doesn't like banana, but Tess loves any food. So Tess is like
it's kind of like you're not sure how it happened because there's no sign of it being like cut open and inserted and then, but it's like inside the dough.
Shit. Okay.
Plus bananas and strawberries, quite nice.
But no, you didn't get the books, right?
You did
Or
not
did you
get the books.
Oh. Okay.
She forgot the books, yeah.
She forgot the books.
That's okay because she brought food. So, holy shit. Did you go to 2 different places?
I mean, I went to like 10 places or something.
To get these burgers?
To get the burgers? No.
Oh.
Went out with Alec for the medical work, I
Rounds,
guess.
yeah.
Rounds. Should call it medical. And then we had a discussion, and I should probably apologize for not telling you guys that I was heading off.
And we will fade out there. As
That's the apology.
as burger is like halfway to Tess's mouth, and the scene fades out. Alec, you are relaxing by the fire with Christian busying about. Whenever a door is knocked, he answers it, but for the most part, as far as you're aware, he is out and looking into those youths that you have asked him to look into. And we will also fade out on Alec as he considers plots and sometimes thinks the best thoughts for his domain. And we will fade in on a new scene.
Uh-oh.
In Chicago. Just waking up as it is just gone sunset, Mac, Marlowe, and Hamilton Gibbs all open their eyes. Currently, Marlowe is in charge of the diner where you're working with Rose. For the most part, it's an easy life. Occasionally you do get requests from certain kindred to look into disappearances or to track down some object or whatever. You have settled into Chicago life quite decently. Running the diner is a lot of fun for Marlowe. Investigating things is a lot of fun for Mac. And Hamilton generally oversees both of them and makes sure that nothing too extreme has happened. Rose is coming along nicely. She has been developing her abilities and she has so far not killed anyone, which is pretty good. That's something that Marlowe's very happy about. She seems happy, which is important. However, tonight, Marlowe is visited with a vision while he's flipping burgers. Suddenly, everything goes dark, and Marlowe is taken away to a cave, mostly in darkness, with nothing around him, until a single solitary beam of light from the top illuminates a throne of bones and skulls. Surrounded by pale, ethereal beings who are sitting, kneeling, kind of a lot of them with like spears. They look very ancient. Some of them, well, like one of them's in like centurion armor, for example. At the foot of this kind of strange throne of skulls and bones is a what looks like a dog, but it's actually a bit bigger than that. It is pure silver in its fur, with kind of green emerald eyes that pierce at you. And in the throne sits someone you know. Tess. Absolutely bone white pale with like these like virulent red eyes that almost glow in a with a crown of like little kind of sticking up bone that wraps around the top of her head, pure black hair, and this kind of like very slinky full-length black dress. And it's just for a moment that you behold her, and then the image is gone. You shake it off, you've got a lot of work to do, and it's time to get back to... You've got a job tonight for Mac, where you've got to like track down... It's a favor for a kindred, but essentially one of the officials who works under the mayor. Their son has gone missing again, probably drugs, but you just need to go through some of the dens and the you know, the houses that hold up these type of people, track him down, get him home. Should be pretty simple, but it will take you most of the night. So you take off your apron. You let Rose know that you're headed out. You get your duster jacket. Put on the hat, your detective hat. Easily switch over to Mac, and the door jingles ding-ling-ling as you step out into the night. It's raining, it's dark, and you're having a great time. And we will fade out there. So,
Aw.
end of the episode.
You're.
Wow.
Wow.
And stuff.
Wow.
Well.
Oh, that's so cool to do a throwback to Mac and Marlowe. I miss them.
We had to. It's Hydra's last episode.
Aw.
Good beans in Chicago.
A mayor's son, you son of a bee.
It's actually an official, like someone who works for the mayor, but close enough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Damn.
Dear, a few things. It's sad. Had a nice little time with Alec today.
Yeah.
I feel like Alec was telling Chris things she wanted to hear, but Chris was like, "Yeah, I completely agree."
It was
is
a bit of
rude.
both.
Yeah.
It was hopefully a tasteful bit of what you wanted to hear and what you needed to hear from his assumptions from what you've said.
Mm.
He doesn't know you that well, but he knows about apologies.
There's also some crossover between Alec and Chris in terms of like mentality and
Yeah.
outlook. So
Yeah.
Yeah, different reasons behind the politeness, but there's overlap.
Yeah. Christian's scary. Like, as soon
What
as
is
he said it, I'm like,
Christian?
"Excuse me, I shouldn't be able to find this information out."
well, we can
What
talk
is he?
we can talk about that momentarily because
Yeah.
So let's go around and we'll leave the best for last with so prepare yourself, Hydra. Let's start with Chris and also Tash. Hey, how you doing? You enjoy the episode?
Good. I had a nice time hanging out with Alexander, and having the sort of apology chat with Tess, but like not. And I felt like that worked quite well because she got distracted and forgot. She's like, "Wait, I'm mad at you." I'm like, "Shit." I got away with it too. So that's nice. I don't know, their little sisterly friendship thing is always nice to return to whenever we do. Chris, yeah, as I said, Christian's scary. That's a concern for me and Chris. And you're very aware that we don't have any security in our territory nowadays, other than Alexander's offered to help with like birds.
And hopefully,
and we don't know that Eli's gone. We don't know that, but obviously we knew that Celine and Kate were heading out. We know that Julian's gone, and it's just we're very light.
So Celine and Cabe are actually heading to New York as well. They set out a little bit before Saturday. So Saturday is like searching for the tribe.
Oh.
And Celine and Caber have already got there, and they're currently like chilling out with Winnie's tribe.
Oh.
Essentially, they're going to have some interesting conversations because they both have experienced very similar like problems with killing lots of people and like having issues with it. So hopefully they'll help each other.
Yeah, that'll be nice for them.
Eli's
behind.
Eli's essentially gone uber encroaching wilds in the sense that he is in the wilds of Weirgate. He hasn't left, but he is like further out. Like he's kind of like where Chris was, further out.
Yeah. It's fine, but it's something we're going to need to address, for sure. Even though everything's like peaceful, it's the world of darkness, so peaceful. And
You worried at all about the final little vision?
About the final vision?
Yeah.
I think obviously Mac's visions were always open. Mac Mallows and visions were always open to interpretation. And I think that it very much it could be like depending on the path that Tess takes. Is like there's going to be different outcomes on where she can like what direction she can end up in.
Yeah.
So I am because I don't want that for Tess, but
It'd be interesting.
it would be really interesting.
And I think we all know, even possibly Tess, that she has a predilection for control and power.
So I mean, and that's the thing. It could be interpreted in so many different ways.
Yeah.
We shall have to see.
We'll have to see what Vandy says about it, because there was a lot in that little vision there.
And that's me.
Okay. Moving on to Tess and also Vandy. Hey, buddy. How angry are you right now?
I'm both. I'm hungry because what the fuck, Christian just made amazing food, and also like the fact that Alex was just like, yeah, you should just like make her food. Alex is a real one. Alex has always been a real one to Tess, and he like, she doesn't even know it like that much, but like, ugh, man.
The Sunkiss don't get hungry challenge.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, what the fuck was that?
Right. Have you figured anything out from
No, I haven't figured anything out. I'm dumb. I'm smooth brain, okay? Listen, I have two things on my mind right now, okay? Caster date and also food, like IRL food, but the throne of was the throne itself made of bones, or was it just the crown that was made of bones?
It was the throne itself as well, yeah.
Damn, skulls for the skull throne. Okay, so yeah, I don't know if that's the werewolf side or the vampire side, but whatever that animal was also there, like this,
The silver wolf?
it was a silver. I thought it was like a cat for some reason.
No, it was a wolf that was completely silver with emerald eyes.
Yeah.
And then you were surrounded by like ancient warriors who seemed like spirity ghosty.
Yeah, I'm starting to think maybe like if Tess becomes a werewolf, then she would even get more power somehow from that. Like, I don't know, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know. Nothing. I don't know anything. Okay.
So to recap, you were also like bone white.
Yeah, and I'd be. Oh wait, but then that's the vampire side. Fuck. I don't know. Why are you asking me questions? Okay, I don't know anything.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know shit.
Would you like to think about this yourself? Would you like a little bit of a hint from me?
Okay, well, last time I thought for myself, I didn't get anything.
last time you thought for yourself, you were like ghosts. So
I'm not gonna think for myself anymore.
Have a little ponder on the info I gave you about the werewolves and the kindred, about their nature.
Like, okay, so where kindred are more about survival and wanting to survive, and then
which they do
wolves,
through
like power and stuff,
and
gaining allies and drinking blood and
control.
And control. And then the wolves are shorter lifespans, but more aggressive.
Also more nature and service and like helping higher power type thing.
So that kind of seems like a blend of both. Like with the wolf, and then also with like a throne of bones and like all this other stuff behind. What if I made my own clan?
So the all the spirit stuff comes from originally what you were born as a werewolf. You even have a specific moon that you're born under, which makes you a oh lord, essentially the ambassador for werewolves to spirits and etc. Which is where all of this spirit stuff is coming from. Your vampiric nature is about control and power and blood. So when you combine those two together, you have the ability to you have the ability to do some really awesome and scary things.
I just have to see if I can actually control spirits now. That's the.
I mean, if you want to, it's a path you can go down.
Well, because I've been interested in this area stuff. I just haven't been able to like really flex into it.
Yeah. And that I think that's enough for you to start theorizing and thinking on, because we had quite a bit of that today with the stork and the
crane, turtle, and gravestone and.
Did you get the Japanese vibe I was giving you from the crane, by the way? Okay.
Yeah. That was and that was why I was like a little worried, because I thought, oh, what if somehow this is a crane that's looking for my dad, trying to report back to the werewolves that he's running away from.
So
in the spirit world somehow. I don't know.
Just purely because it's something that you guys, that Tash and Vandy, you'll know, but it's quite obscure because we didn't go into it that much. You guys played werewolf. Do you remember the deal with animals and the whole turtle thing? And
each clan
totems.
has a kind of spirit animal, really, that they are connected with.
So it'd be a were-crane.
Well, they're not really like were-cranes. They're animal spirit. They're spirits.
But it's a spirit. Yeah, it's an animal spirit for a specific thing.
And cranes are known for when they, like herons, when they hunt, they will stand in the river for like a day before they strike.
I think my brain just got a wrinkle.
My first wrinkle, woo!
Amazing.
Okay. I got thoughts. Okay, I'm not gonna. Yeah. I gotta digest this.
Yeah, I think there's a lot for you to digest on there. And finally, our year. I don't remember the years in school and everything. Our sixth form leaver, Hydra, and also for the last time Alec, and also Mac and Marlowe. And technically
all
speaking,
sorts of names.
Hamilton Gibbs.
And Gibbs, I guess. Yeah, that was cool. I enjoyed a little hangout sesh. Got to do some nursing. Got to do some TLC for the peoples.
Yeah.
You taught Chris a dot in medicine.
He did.
A little bit of micromanagement of the peoples. That's what he's into.
It was so cool to be able to put this Marlowe music on again.
Yeah. I quickly had a look for the hat, but it's here somewhere. I think it's in the loft now.
It's been a while since we've had the.
Yeah, it's been quite a while since I've worn that hat, but
it's really cool to go just give some final look in on Mac and Marlowe.
He's doing a thing.
And Rose.
He's not dead. She's not dead.
Yeah.
Sorry, they're not dead. I guess.
I mean, they are.
It's complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Well, yeah. Wow.
Dead but
all
happy.
The things. Yep. Christian got he got a good spotlight today.
Yeah.
He got questions.
Interesting, isn't he?
Yeah. That's all right. You can have your own Christian.
Oh.
Just dial 999 creepy.
Don't do that, guys. You won't like what you end up with.
True.
But yeah, no, it's when I was thinking about what Marlowe would do, I'm like, him and Mac are basically sharing control at this point. He's hanging with Rose. They're both happy with that. Like, running a diner just makes sense for Marlowe, and then running like a side investigative, Marlowe kind of handles the human side where he's like got customers and he interacts with people. Like, maintains that anchor on humanity, and then
Yep.
Marlowe deals with the kindred side of things, and like in a much more contained way, like does investigative work.
Yep. And he gets his little out. Gets to go for walkies.
With Hamilton there, he just kind of like keeps both of them
Yeah.
under control a little bit.
Makes sense.
And I just love the image of Mac working of Marlowe working in a diner in Chicago, something that he kind of always wanted to do.
I think they'd be like, "Hey, British guy, make me a burger." I'd be like, "All right, mate, I'll flip you a burger."
that was really Alfred. Michael,
pretty much. It was very Michael Caine. Michael Caine.
All right, mate.
It was, but I think he would like that, being the miserable Brit, and they'd just be like, "It's the British burger guy. Oh my god."
Yeah. And of course, Alec is going to like not stop acting or anything, but he's essentially going to remain reasonably sedentary as we close out the Sunkist campaign.
Anything he's doing is so contained within his area, his plot, that unless you're into the things of people, the living, you'd never really know.
Yeah.
But he's busy.
Improving and
doing stuff.
I think we've dropped enough hints and enough like things that people probably know what his clan is. But would you?
Pretty obvious. Well, to the keen eye today, he would have had a very slightly more prominent jawline.
Yeah,
because
messed with the jawline.
He wanted to change it a little bit because he's Tzimisce, and it's there. It's just why admit your Tzimisce to others? It's just a bad idea after everything that's gone down.
He only uses his very small abilities of flesh crafting and flesh molding for medicinal purposes.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So
very minor cosmetics for himself that you could argue are like, oh, I had a Botox injection. It's nothing.
Or even less than that. Like, did your jawline
very
change
subtle.
very slightly?
Yeah, exactly. Ever so. It's like, oh, you look a bit more confident today. Yes, I do.
The majority of his abilities revolve around his birds and his ability to like control and.
Yeah, no one ever got hurt enough for him to use malefic surgery.
No.
But,
no.
If one of you chooses to get damaged severely in the next few sessions,
go to him for some real proper vampiric surgery.
Just be prepared to scream.
The most damage any of us have taken might have been when I touched the silver pendant.
Yeah,
I had aggravated damage. Like 1 point of aggravated damage.
That was some real.
That was fucked. Could have used.
It could have been bad in some of the fights.
There are some instances where you were in danger, like gravestone, Clay, even Lamia to a certain extent. She's much more social, but the majority of instances you've either avoided a fight where it was dangerous, or you've enacted a conflict whereby you had the upper hand and the advantage. So, like bringing Sheldon along. Sheldon's fucking scary, man.
Yeah, I didn't know that at the time.
Alec is gonna miss trying to convince not Cassius but Josh that he's Tremere. Alec enjoyed that.
I think
we're gonna miss Hydra.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Dude, we had like you and Josh. We had you guys for like a year or so, and it was.
It's been a long while.
It was a great campaign.
A year while.
Like,
it's
having you
been
guys in
through all sorts. Yeah, no, it's been a real treat. But we get to talk about the real treat on Wednesday.
On Wednesday.
That's a thing. So we do a talk.
7 p.m. UK time. We'll be doing another bar brawl, little exit interview with Hydra. We'll have to think of something new for you to tier list. Of course.
Warhammer Factions was my last guess. That's the only thing I can think of. But
yeah.
Warhammer races.
It'd be relevant as well.
Eldar are 40k, but we could maybe do both.
You could do fantasy and 40k all together.
Like, one thing I think I'd find really difficult is Space Marine factions. Because, like, there are so many I hate and so many I love. The only thing I like, this is the thing, is I can say now while it's easy and I don't have to play them off against each other, I'm like, my favorite all-time Space Marine faction is the Alpha Legion. But once you get them played off against each other, you're like, but I like these people a little bit better than the Alpha.
Yeah. I wouldn't be able to even go there with them. I'd fantasy 40k. I would just, the moment you say Space Marines, I'd be like, no, they're at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, yes,
they're all at the bottom.
Space Marines are not my favorite faction, but if we're talking chapters, like Lamenters, the Sad Boys, they're so interesting, but they're so sad. Salamanders.
Even Iron Fists, I'm like, I don't like them, but I look at them and I'm like, yeah, you're kind of cool.
The Dark Angels with the whole, like, Evo.
Dark Angels with robes. They got robes. That makes them cool.
And the Interrogators, they tried to, like, convert their...
So many mixed feelings. But,
but
it's been a real treat, and everyone's been great.
Ultramarines at the bottom.
100%.
We all know this.
100%. Blood Angels were superior in the old 2nd or 3rd edition box set. Yeah. Back when the world was right. But Sunkist has been a real treat, and there's been so much stuff and things that have happened.
Yeah.
One day we'll have a campaign with everyone's offspring. The next generation, Mac Jr.
Well,
God forbid Tess has any kind of child.
A
puppy, maybe.
Oh,
one of
a little wolf.
Shit.
One of
different kind of puppy.
One of the things I'm going to be doing at the end of the Sunkiss campaign is like compiling it all into like a little module. So anyone who wants to run their own Sunkiss campaign can run it at the end of our campaign with new characters, and there'll be like, I'll have like details on like Alec and any of you that like stay in the city, like Cassius will be in there. And Lamia, not Lamia, Talia and Nathan Fortuna, like, unless they die or, etc.
Burn it down.
Who knows?
So yeah, that's I'm debating. I feel like I should put it out on my Patreon to encourage people to become Patreons, like, even if it's just for $1.
It's a good idea.
I don't like monetizing that type of thing because a lot of viewers don't, just
like that's something like together that has been fleshed out for a very long time. So I think that's like
put so
if
much
there's
work
something.
into it.
Yeah, I was gonna say like there's a lot of work gone into it, and also the Patreon is going to, from the end of Sunkist, gonna be going into cast pay. So I feel like I can justify it enough to be like, I'll put it on Patreon.
Matt, some people will GM that just to kill off Nathan.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
No call outs in particular. I mean,
First episode, Nathan dies.
I have mentioned to Josh I'd like him to come back like ages in the future and GM the next Sunkist on here, which I think would be a lot of fun. But that's something where he's interested in, but he's not sure he wants to do it at the same time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's like I wouldn't want to jump into someone else's like setting and
complicated
previously GM'd and be like, now it's my turn.
Played in it as well, and it'll have a very different feel than something that somebody, even like a random person somebody else wrote a setting. It feel very like, don't upset Sheepy by changing things.
Well, no, I'm not worried about changing and stuff. I think I'm looking if once Sunkist is finished and I release the module for you guys, if any of you start campaigns and stuff, I want you like tweeting and in the Discord telling me about what's happening in your campaigns. Because I think that'll be
you're gonna be getting a play-by-play. Like.
Yeah, I'd be so interested in see where people take their own like Sunkist campaigns after. I could maybe set up a before the fire as well, but it would be like the thing about Sunkissed is you can't really run it again
Yeah.
because there's so many like little mysteries and things that would be the same. You know, you'd have the maze still, you'd have the Sunkissed like burn event, and
The concept could be translated to a different city, like a new city.
I mean,
in a way.
the original concept of Sunkissed was a short sci-fi story that I made when I was about 18, 19. That I adapted to VTM.
And the thing is, things like always change. There's a bunch of mysteries that we never found.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
like, even if it went down the exact same way up until the Fire Night, the way people play it's going to be so different as well.
But yeah, it's true.
And like, they might not ever, you know, maybe the GM has seen something, but players maybe not. So even if they do see the same things, they don't know that.
yeah.
You know, it's
It
always
would be a good thing for a GM to like pull up so that they can be like, well, I've seen this, so I know these things, and you're in for a treat, kind of thing. That would be cool. Were any of the characters similar to the sci-fi storyline? So the storyline was a bit more like large and meta. It was basically about an AI who was created to like keep humanity. Everything that ran for humanity was run off one like AI, and basically he was like oppressed and taken for granted, and eventually developed a personality of like a grumpy servant who feels put upon. And he started setting people on fire because he controlled everything. And very, very slowly more and more people were like spontaneously combusting. But then it turned out that the reason, it's completely different from Sunkissed. It's just the initial idea, you know, the dreg and the AI thing. But essentially, it turned out that he was doing it. He was choosing to do it in a very passive aggressive way, where he wasn't telling anyone why he was doing it. But humanity was so they had such easy lives. They were becoming. They were developing like mentally, but not physically, and essentially they were very, very close to psychically destroying themselves.
Whoa.
Yeah, you know, like as the idea is like as you kind of develop mentally, you don't have as much space on the planet. Like, you know, I don't know. Have any of you guys ever been in a city and been like, man, this is fucking crowded and it feels like stressful and hectic, and then you go out to the country and you're like, space in my head, thank you. I love going back to country just because
I forget how much white noise I hear. And like a lot of people don't pay attention to white noise or don't hear it. I don't stop hearing it.
Yeah, I don't actually think it's you know, telepathic or psychic or any stuff like that for humans.
No.
I just think it's noise and you know, atmosphere and everything.
Over sensation as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
overstimulation. That was it. Yeah. I don't think I could live in the city for a long time.
Yeah, but it's essentially the idea behind that story was like humans were had developed mentally to the point where they were starting to develop psychic abilities, which meant they were all like clustered together.
Perils of the warp.
Yeah. It was partially inspired by psychers in 40k as well.
I just shout perils of the warp every time.
That's fair. So. Thank you everyone for watching. As we have mentioned, on Wednesday there will be another bar brawl with I need to double check with Tess Aquila, but I think there'll be a bar brawl and then a Nahari live stream afterwards, where she's off on a solo thing. And yeah, so 7 p.m. UK time will be the start of the bar brawl. We'll talk everything Hydra, all of his projects, all of his things. We'll go into his GM videos and everything, which is going to be really interesting. And then we'll force him to play off against each other the factions of Warhammer Fantasy and possibly 40k. We'll see how things go. which we will all be doing at some point, so don't laugh too hard. I mean, you guys will choose your own things that you're gonna tier list, but
We'll see.
it's a lot of fun. Josh had a great time. So thank you very much. Thank you, YouTube. Links below in the description for everyone. Thank you very much, Twitch. We're heading off, and I hope you have a great night.
Thanks.
Goodbye.